Today in Film and Editing Club, we're going to be talking about how you can create different film looks for your videos in Sony Vegas Pro 13, 14, or 15. So this is used a lot in different films, and if you want to create a certain tone for your film, whether that's a sad tone or a super energetic tone, this is how you do it. So we're going to start off going to this label right here, Import Media, and once you click on that, it's going to take you to all of your folders, and then let's pick this one, I don't know. Then this is going to load in right here. This is where all your clips are going to be. So we just hold and drag this onto the timeline, which is this portion. So if we play, we can also click this, which plays from the start. This button, the regular play button, just plays from like any area. Where if you click this, it's right from the start. So here's the original clip.
Alright, so I'm the president of the Film and Editing Club. It's going to be every lunch on Wednesdays in Mrs. Baum's room G4. So come and hang out. No experience is required. And wait, is that? Everybody be everywhere. Join Film and Editing Club!
Okay, so we laughed a bit at the end, so I think I'm going to cut this end part. So if we go to right where we want to cut it, I'd just say about there for an eyeball estimate. So you can right click and click trim end. That gets rid of that. If we want to make this even shorter, just to make this a little easier, I guess we could go with right here, right click, trim start. You can also click alt and the left bracket, but I always just do that. And let's drag this, move it to the left. So now this is our clip.
Join Film and Editing Club!
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get those black bars you see a lot in music videos or films. So to go to that, just click on this little crop button right here. It'll pull up this menu. Drag this here. And then you want to make sure this is unchecked. So you want to make sure lock aspect ratio is unchecked. What that does is if you want to zoom out your video or zoom in, it's going to keep it the same size, which can be helpful, but in this case we don't want that. So right click, restore, goes back to the original video. So if we unclick this but keep this checked, size about center, then we can just hold on one of these ends, drag in, and you can see creates those black bars. So it really depends how much you want it. Some films will use like a lot of black bars. Some will use just that much. It all depends. I think I'm just gonna go with right about there. It seems good. It's kind of the average amount of bars you want. Oh, I almost forgot one of the most important things. Remember, whenever you put a new clip in, to right click and switches and click disable resample. This just gets rid of the ghosting effect like we talked about before. You obviously don't want that. And if you notice here at the end, we have the full black bars, but here at the beginning, they're just kind of coming in. So the reason it's like that is because when we put the marker down, our cursor or our line was like right here. So this kind of diamond right here is a keyframe. A keyframe is a certain set in how you want your video to appear. So we're saying if this keyframe is here, we're saying that at 3 seconds, we want the bars to be like this, but the keyframe here at 0 seconds is just the original. So what it's doing from the 0 seconds to 3 seconds is basically creating those black bars. So that's why you see the black bars kind of coming in. So to eliminate this, you can click on this first diamond, right click, click delete, drag this diamond to the very front at 0, and now click any point. It's all the same. Now to add the actual effects, you want to go to Video FX. This is where we're going to find a bunch of different effects, and these are all default if you get the program. Channel blend, chroma blur, chroma clear. We'll talk about this differently, but this is kind of how you do the green screen stuff. But for today, the second effect is going to be color curves right here. You can see when you type it in, you just go to color and it will be right there. So you want to drag on the default. I already did it, but you would just go like that basically. Then this menu will pop up, and you want to change all the different panels. So actually, I'll just redo this. Put the default on right there. So if we go to red, I'll make this go like this. In the bottom to right about there. I feel like that even already looks pretty cool. But moving on to the green, can make that about there. And this a little lower. I always like to keep my beginning lower. Always gives good effect. This, to make this a little shorter, all the way to the top. And this, once again, pretty low. So then we can go to color corrector. You're gonna see definitely a difference on this one too. I already did it, but once again, just drag on the default onto this video clip, and then you would go to color corrector, and you have these 3 different wheels of basically color. So this one I would just keep at the center. The mid I would go more towards the yellow and red section, and the high more towards that purple and blue kind of section. So that creates this pretty cool look. Saturation was initially just at 1, so you can see how that looks there. I thought that was a little bright, so I just toned it down a little bit, down to 0.79. Gamma and gain and offset I kept it the same. And this clock symbol right here, it's called animate. Basically what it does is, like what I showed earlier, this diamond thing is a keyframe, and say right here at the very end of the clip you wanted the saturation to be 5, I don't know, like really extreme, and you wanted it to be at 1 at the beginning. So over that 5-second span, over that time, the video would become more and more saturated, but I don't think that's really needed on this one. And that's basically it. So this is definitely a pretty good dramatic effect. It can be changed for a lot of different things, depends on what you're going for. The music has a lot of effect on it, as we've seen in previous music videos we've watched. And if you want to take a look at the comparison between this final product and at the beginning, you can go back to project media. This is our beginning clip that we remember dragged in during the beginning. Put that in. Very long clip, but I'll try to cut it down to about the same point as we were at before. I think it's about there, and this about here. There you go. So these are 2 clips. See, this is the before, and this is the after. It's definitely very different. So if we watch this one,
Oh, buddy, he follows me everywhere. Join the Editing Club!
definitely kind of bland. Doesn't look bad, but it is just a stock video with no effects, just kind of bland colors. And phones or cameras these days normally do that on purpose, because when you have a default bland color that comes with the video, you have more flexibility when you want to add different colors or effects to your video. So click this from the start, we can see our final product.
Oh, buddy, he follows me everywhere. Join the Editing Club!
My computer's having a tough time processing this because the effects, especially if you don't have that good of a computer, do make it obviously harder to run and harder to play back in perfectly what you would see in a video. But I think if we just zoom in on this, we can see a pretty good representation of what the video is like now. So I hope you learned something new. Thanks for coming to this meeting, and we'll see you next time.